Hi guys, it's Lisa here, and today I have a really fun project to share with you. My friend Amanda Stevens from Pear Press has put out this really great product called the Power Pack Kit, and it makes making light up cards super easy. When she contacted me to be part of this blog hop that she's having, I was a little intimidated. I've never made a light up card before, but I knew that Amanda would walk me through it, and I knew there was a lot of videos to help me, and I was right. So I said yes, and Amanda was kind enough to send me this Power Pack kit. It actually comes with, it's a 3-pack, so you can make 3 light up cards with it. As you can see, I've already opened it up and made 1 card. I have seen a lot of videos where very brave people have made their first light up card on camera. I am not that brave, so I had to make mine first and then recreate it on camera. So this is the super cute packaging that it came in. It says "Thanks a Watt," which I think is adorable. And this is the card that I made that I'm going to share with you guys today. And the little anglerfish, his little doohickey, whatever you call this thing that hangs off of them, lights up. And I know it's kind of hard to see with all the lights on, but there it goes. Success! I was pretty happy when that worked out because I knew that I made the circuit right and all was well in the world. So anyway, this is the card, and I'm going to go ahead and make this with you guys today. Show you how that Power Pack works. The images that I used, or the anglerfish that I used, is from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and this stamp set is called Sophisticated. And there's that cute little fish that I used on the card. And then the sentiment is "Let Your Light Shine," which was absolutely perfect for this card, as you can imagine. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was I created the background for the card, and I did do quite a bit of the card ahead of time just so that the video wouldn't be long. But I will show you how I made that fun background on the card. I used this stencil from Brutus Monroe, and it's called Tangled Waves. And then I did use some distress inks. I know there's lots of ways to keep paper on stencils. My favorite way is to turn the stencil upside down and to turn my paper upside down and to tape down the stencil on the borders. And then the first color I'm going to use is Twisted Citron. And I've got some blender brushes to do that. Let's see if I can keep this in focus for you today. So I'm going to put down some Twisted Citron on top. And I thought about doing this stenciling ahead of time, but I know that I, in particular, when I'm watching a video, I do like to see process videos from start to finish, and the stuff that maybe other people don't like to see. And this is peacock feathers that I'm going in with now. Some of the stuff that other people may want to skip over, I kind of tend to like to watch that part, just to see the process in action. For me, one of the coolest parts of card making that I enjoy is stenciling and ink blending. I find it very soothing, peaceful. I don't know. The next color is Salty Ocean. So I was trying to go with a kind of nautical sea-like background since I was using fish. And then the Salty Ocean on the bottom. I just think that these 3 colors really blend nicely with each other. And one of my favorite parts of stenciling is the big reveal at the end when you pull off the stencil. I just think it's magical. So I'm just going to finish off the bottom of the card. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go kind of quick with this and maybe not get every single area. Most of you have probably watched stenciling before. And my favorite part, of course, peeling off the stencil and revealing that beautiful background. Isn't that pretty? I just love that gradient of color. So now that my background is all ready to go, the next thing I want to do for the light up card is I want to have my base ready. The base card, because that's going to help me know where I want to put down my power pack. So what I did was I took my card base, which is teal, deep teal, and I put a piece of cardstock in the middle of it that is just slightly smaller than the stencil piece that I'm going to have on top. Okay, so mine is 3 3/4 by 5 inches, but yours can be whatever size that's smaller than your top card. And I just wanted this so that I could build the power pack on this. You could probably do it on the card base, but I just like having an area to work on. So what I did was I decided where I wanted to lay my fish, and I've colored and cut my fish out ahead of time. And I used some Copic markers. And the colors I used on this fish, I did R30 on the face, and then the body was kind of a blend of R32 and R35. So I really like those colors in this fish. And I also colored the cute little starfish image from the stamp set as well. Yes, the starfish. And I decided that the fish obviously would be where the card lights up on his little hangy thing. And then I decided that I needed a place for you to push on the the part of the power pack that lights up. So I decided that the starfish would be the perfect place to push on. And I also stamped my little sentiment that I showed you, Let Your Light Shine, on a die from Cat Scrappiness. It is called the Stitched Flags die, and I took the smallest die, and I really wanted the tag to match the cards. So what I did was I did a little bit of ink blending with my Twisted Citron on the stitch flag, and then I edged it in peacock feathers just so that it would match the colors in the card. And I forgot to mention that the piece of cardstock that I did the ink blending on, I had actually cut out from a Cat Scrappiness stitched rectangle die, that's a tongue twister, stitched scalloped rectangle dies. And I just love the scallops on these dies. This is my go-to die for almost every card base that I make. So I went ahead and cut and colored these images out before the video to save some time, and I decided that my little fish is going to go on top and that my sentiment and starfish is going to go here at the bottom. And what I did was I just glued my starfish to my sentiment so that it would all be one piece. Just like that. And then what I did was I went ahead and laid my pieces down on my card where I knew they wanted to go. And then I took my pokey tool, technical term, and right under that spot on the fish where I wanted the light to be, I went ahead and pierced the card. And right under the spot where the starfish is, I went ahead and pierced the card as well. Put those images aside. And then what I did was I made those holes just a teeny bit larger so that I could fit a pencil through there and mark on my card base where I wanted the power pack to go. So I'm going to line that panel back up. I'm going to take my pencil, handy dandy rabbit hole pencil. Thank you, Marianne. And I'm going to just make two little pencil marks right through those holes so I can see where I want my power pack to go. And again, my light is going to go up here and the battery pack is going to go down here. This is the part that should be lots of fun because it was hard enough to do it off camera, but we're we're going to go ahead and try it on camera. So here's the battery pack, and like I said, the little button is going to go down here. The purple part is the button, so it's going to go right over there. There's the copper tape to connect the circuit, and here is the actual light bulb, the LED light. So I'm going to peel one of these off, and I am going to set it down. Now the actual light up portion has a positive and a negative on it, and the battery pack has a positive and a negative on it. And as long as you run your copper tape from positive to positive and negative to negative, it will light up. Ask me how I know. So I am going to place down my little light bulb right over the dot that I made on top. And the power pack, actually I'm going to put some strong double-sided tape on the back of it. That's how that gets glued down to the card. And you just want to make sure that you don't interfere with the actual positive and negative pieces on the battery, otherwise it won't work. And make sure if you're going to use liquid glue over here, it also doesn't interfere with these two pieces. I would definitely recommend double-sided sticky tape for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. And I'm going to lay that down. So again, my little purple button right over the dot that I made. Okay, and then my light bulb is stuck down. Now, in a lot of the examples that I saw, the copper tape was put down first and then these pieces were laid over it, and you could do it that way, but I tried it that way first and for some reason it didn't work out well for me. I don't know why. So I redid it and put the copper tape on top, and then it worked fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way, but like I said, I did see people who did it the other way and it worked just fine. So this copper tape for me was very difficult to work with because it's real flimsy, but here we go. Let's see how this works. I think if I cut off the excess backing paper, it's a little easier to work with. Okay, so remember, we're going to go positive to positive and negative to negative. My negative side on the battery is over here. My negative side on the light bulb is over here. So in the video that I watched where Amanda did this, she started out by laying her copper tape just slightly, if I can get a hold of it, just slightly over the light bulb piece, and she put it down and smoothed it down the card. And it'd help if I would take the backing tape off. Okay, and this tape can be cut and restarted in your path, which is nice. And then right down on the negative side so that it touches the piece that we just brought down, and then snip it. Okay, so that's our negative side, and now we're going to go back and do the same thing with the positive side. And I like to cover that whole piece, so I'm going to actually just put a little piece right here. I don't know if you need to, but I'm going to do it in case. And then I'm going to come down the card, and you can pretty much take any path you want to get to the battery pack. I know mine looks kind of wonky. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but as long as you complete the circuit, you're okay. And you guys get to watch me struggle a little bit. And then the final piece. And you guys, this stuff actually tears really easily. You don't even need scissors to do it. Final positive piece. I have it all over myself. And let me just connect these last two pieces. I know you guys are going, why did you do it that way? There's so many easier ways, but for some reason the camera just makes things twice as hard. Okay, so the circuit is complete. You guys are going to get to witness with me at the same time to see if this worked. Please let this work. And it worked! I'm so excited. I was excited the first time, but boy, on camera, it just makes it that much better. It works. And of course, you got to play with it 100 times just to make sure that it works. So as you can imagine, the rest of the assembly is pretty easy from here. This is going to lay over here. The starfish is going to get pushed. The little light up thing is going to work. So the next step actually is to put some foam tape around the power pack. And the card actually needs 2 layers of foam tape so that it can be as high as the power pack. And you don't want your foam tape to interfere with the power pack. I'm sorry, you don't want the foam tape to interfere with the copper tape. So you're going to go ahead and put your foam tape all around the border. And the second layer. Okay, and you guys, in the interest of time, I'm not going to put the foam tape all over the entire card, but you can definitely do that if you want to. And you can fill in the spots where there's no foam tape just so that your card sits up nicely, but you get the idea. And then what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to glue my pieces down where they're supposed to be on the card. And I know where they're supposed to be because my little holes are there, so I want my little doohickey. I don't know what that's called, that little piece on the anglerfish. They're actually really ugly fish. I looked them up on the internet last night, but this stamp is super cute. So, but they're scary looking fish with big teeth, and that really scary fish from Finding Nemo with the big light in front of its head. I sent my daughter a picture last night and she said, oh, it's the anglerfish. And I said, oh, I thought it was the scary fish from Nemo. And she said, it is. But it's so cute, it doesn't look like it. So then again, my starfish is going to go over that bottom hole. And then I don't have a stamp that says push here, so I actually just hand wrote push here onto my card. And normally I don't love my handwriting, but for the sake of the card, I decided to try to use my best handwriting and an arrow. So that just tells the recipient where to push, obviously. And then finishing touches is putting... Oh, that's not the finishing touch. Hold on, I almost forgot my bubbles. How could I forget my bubbles? I just wanted a few fun bubbles coming off of my anglerfish. Try not to drop my stamp everywhere. And now that I've got black ink everywhere that I don't want it. Okay, let's try that again. So I've got my bubbles actually from the same stamp set from the rabbit hole, the sophisticated. There's quite a few size bubbles. And I'm just going to put a few over Angly. Let's call him Angly. That's a cute name. Over Angly. And I also added a few Cat Scrappiness Sparkling Clear Jewels. I also added one down here near the sentiment. Funny enough, that was my son's suggestion. He thought that since the sentiment said let your light shine, that we needed to have a little bit of shine on the sentiment, and I wholeheartedly agreed. So let's get 3 jewels to put inside the stamped bubbles. Let's try to get 3 different size jewels. And maybe they'll play nicely. There we go. I just think it's perfect how these jewels fit right into these little stamped bubbles. And it just adds a little bit of extra something to the card, since the card is all about shining. And the jewels are in place. Okay, now we can put the top layer down. How could I forget the jewels? So you're just going to center your card on the card base. Got to stand up for this one, of course. And then it's put together. You can't even tell it's missing foam. And then you get to play. Very cool. I just love this. This was so much fun. Thank you so much, Amanda, for asking me to be part of this. I really enjoyed myself. I still have 2 more power packs, so I can't wait to make a couple of more cards. I think I'm going to make a lighthouse card. And I know my mom loves birthday cards with cupcakes, so I think I'm going to make another one where the candle lights up. So you've got to check out Amanda's site. It's Pear Blossom Press. These power pack kits are amazing. They make these light up cards so easy. This was, well, officially my second light up card, because of course I had to make one off camera. And I have to tell you, even for someone who is new to this, it was extremely easy to do once I sat down and figured it all out. And there are plenty of videos to show you how. Lots of YouTube videos where people have already used Amanda's kit, and Amanda has instructions with videos on her website, pearblossom.press.com. So I will leave all the links in the description below for you guys so you can check it out. And I want to thank you for joining me today. Make sure you check out all the other people along the hop, the designers who have created cards for this hop as well. There's some amazing designs out there, and probably a lot more experienced at this than I am. But hopefully I made it easy for you. Hopefully you got to see it from a beginner's perspective. So thank you for joining me today, you guys. You have a wonderful day. I already am. Bye-bye.